Tonight on 205 Live, Mike Kanellis faces off with the Brian Kendrick. And for the main event, Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa, Lio Rush, and Humberto Carrillo face off in a fatal four-way. Who wins? Who loses? Let's find out.
Alright, let's get into this episode 205 Live. It was actually pretty great. We had the Brian Kendrick versus Mike Kanellis to start things off. Match begins with Kendrick and Kanellis exchanging holds and grapples. The match moved at a slow pace until Kanellis ends up outside the ring. Maria gives a subtle push for him to get back in the ring. He's like, get back in the ring, get back in the ring. Then after getting clotheslined back out, Maria stands in front of where Kendrick was going to slam Mike into, which is the announcer's table, which is a smart choice. This helped give Kanellis an opportunity to attack, and after a Phil sliced bread, Kanellis slammed Brian into a post, and the two worked their way back into the ring. Mike Kanellis begins landing strikes and a suplex, gets a failed pin, gets Brian into a chin lock and slams the back of his head into the mat. Which, if you're going to use a chin lock, that's probably the best way to do it. Kendrick pulled Kanellis out, and although Mike recovered, he was quickly sent into a post. It took until around the 7 or 8 count for Kanellis to get back into the ring. He tried to When he did, Kendrick met him with a couple elbows. He tried to charge Mike Kanellis, but got hit by a clothesline from Mike. Mike gets countered and put in the captain's hook, and after a lot of effort manages to make it over to the rope to break the hold. After breaking, Brian lands a couple kicks, attempts another sliced bread, but it's reversed and he receives a super kick. Brian is propped up on the top turnbuckle for a backpack stunner, but it's unsuccessful. Frustrated, Kanellis repeatedly elbows Brian Kendrick's jaw. Brian taunts Mike after looking beaten, gets kicked 3 times. Brian is just making him expend his energy, and after that energy is wasted on Brian, Kendrick reverses Mike Kanellis to hit him with sliced bread number 2, pinning him for the win in him. Overall, it was a pretty solid opener. No real complaints about it. It told a story with Mike Kanellis getting overconfident or getting frustrated and taking out his aggression instead of finishing the match like he's supposed to. Both Mike and Maria looked extremely disappointed after the match, for obvious reasons. We got a recap of Arya Daivari betraying Hideo Itami. Backstage segments with all the competitors for the main event. One with Tozawa, and Brian hyping up their part. And then Tozawa does that smile, and Brian looks over and goes, dude, get serious. It does also look like Kendrick is growing back his goatee, which is unfortunate. I actually kind of like him without the goatee. He looks like 10 years younger. But yeah, it's time to get to the main event. The match begins with Humberto Tozawa and Cedric looking at Lio Rush, who's been talking big this entire time. And the two approach him, and Leo's like, oh, I see what's going on. Lio initially, he definitely evades all 3 of them. And gets, in evading the first set of attacks, only be taken out of the ring. Humberto and Lio exchange a few blows before Akira gets involved. Tozawa hits a Hurricane Run on Cedric, but is taken out by Lio. Rush dominates the start of the match in spite of the assault. But after landing some chops and strikes on Humberto, he hits Carrillo with a nasty dropkick to the back of his head. Humberto attempts to counter Lio. He's hit with a tornado DDT, but isn't able to get him pinned. He is then taken out of the ring by Akira Tozawa. Lio works Akira for a brief moment before attempting the final hour, but is interrupted by Cedric. Humberto is taken out of the ring by Akira Tozawa, I believe. Lio works Akira for the brief moment before attempting the final hour. He's interrupted by Cedric Alexander, who gives Akira time to get on his feet, and allows Cedric to hop in and hit Lio Rush with the lumbar check, pinning him and taking Lio Rush first and foremost out of the match. Yay, Jonn. Humberto begins his offense with a massive missile dropkick to Cedric, nearly pinning Alexander, of whom kicks out at 2. A number of reversals and takedowns are attempted, and after a possible botched springboard clothesline, I think it was, by Cedric, appears Cedric may have hurt his knee. Ref checks with Alexander, who pierced his mouth, "I'm fine." But he may have tweaked it a bit. The three of them end up on a turnbuckle, striking and trying to take down one another. Akira stands tall in that exchange and knocks Humberto off the turnbuckle and then hits him with the Dragon Senton, pinning Carrillo and taking him out of the match, which is fair. And now we're down to Cedric Alexander and Akira Tozawa. The two strike each other at the same time, but Akira gets Alexander into the Iron Octopus. Cedric manages to break free, and the two boot each other in the face, taking each other down. The two go for another exchange until Tozawa counters Cedric's attempt at the Neuralizer by getting really close to him, and as he's coming back, landing a German suplex, and then into another German suplex, attempting to bridge to pin, but Cedric kicks out. He goes to the top turnbuckle for a Dragon Senton, but Cedric slams Tozawa into the mat with a Michinoku driver. Goes for the pin. Kira kicks out. Crowd is into it. They start chanting, "Ah! Ha! Ha! Ha!" And after a few attempts by Cedric, Akira breaks free. He brings down Alexander with a reverse Hurricane Rana, drags him over the corner, hits him with the Dragon Senton, and pins Cedric for the win. It was a terrific, well-worked main event and a great opening match. Again, I'm still a little disappointed that there's not a third match because they usually have 15 minutes of space to work with. I guess that's the price of going before SmackDown Live for the tapings. But overall, this was a very good episode of 205 Live. I'm giving that one an A-. And yeah, if you want to grade along with me, the poll is right up here. You can grade it too and let me know what you think. But yeah, I gotta get ready for the NXT review, so I will be back after a word from our sponsors.
Tonight on NXT, Johnny Gargano celebrates his win over Rico Chet at NXT TakeOver. Jackson Riker takes on Mansoor. The debuting Eric Bugenhagen takes on a surprise 205 Live star, but Eric proves insufficient for this star's need for competition. But who will challenge him, bro? And for the main event, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair take on Shayna Baszler and her two cronies. Who wins? Who loses? Let's get in to the nitty-gritty.
Oh, that's a hell of an intro. Alright, where to begin? Johnny Gargano steps out at the start of the show to the crowd, to dueling crowd chants of "Johnny Champion" and "Johnny," but Johnny sucks. Johnny sucks. And after briefly enjoying the spotlight, Tommaso Ciampa comes out to congratulate and states that this is our moment. To which Gargano replies that the only reason he stepped out at TakeOver was to show you that he will never need Tommaso Ciampa, and which in no way will bite him in the ass at some point in the upcoming feud against who else interrupts but Velveteen Dream. Dream talks about winning the Worlds Collide tournament, which means he gets his choice of any NXT title. He looks at Tommaso Ciampa and he goes, "And this, the dream is over, Tommaso Ciampa." And then he goes to the ring and he challenges Johnny Gargano. Gargano, he's ready for a fight. He's off this high that after beating Rico Chet at TakeOver Phoenix, and he accepts. Dream questions him, however, that when they're face to face, who is he going to be fighting? Johnny Champion or Johnny Jackass? To which the crowd parrots the latter, chanting Johnny Jackass because Smarky Mark's in the Funkasaurus bunch. But yeah, Gargano leaves the ring, as well as Tommaso Ciampa, and then we cut to a break. And then we come back, we get a matchup of the Forgotten Sons versus Mansoor. Commentary hypes Mansoor. Apparently he did something or other. But Mansoor is immediately put down by Jackson Ryker, who manhandles Mansoor before pinning him for the win. This was a squash match and nothing more. We got a backstage recap of TakeOver in regards to the North American title. And they attempt to get an interview with Ricochet when Adam Cole interrupts. And after a brief interaction, Ricochet challenges Adam Cole to see who gets a rematch for the North American title. And then we get to the next match. And a very big surprise for me, because I don't like reading spoilers or reading ahead on who's going to be where. Drew Gulak shows up on NXT. And he's got a challenger of Eric Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen comes out and really gonna hit the high notes, that's for damn sure. But I don't think that's gonna save him in the upcoming match. Has this very long celebratory entrance, hitting these notes, and playing the air drums. Drew Gulak looked like he was just seething with immutable rage, because Bugenhagen was wasting his time. During the match, Bugenhagen went to hit a high note and was immediately drop-kicked. Drew continued to beat down Bugenhagen, hitting multiple strikes and a snap suplex. Eric gets Gulak into an abdominal stretch, but wastes time playing air guitar, which Drew used to his advantage, hitting him with the Northern Lights suplex, and then after that getting him into the Gulak, forcing Eric to tap out. Drew is frustrated with his competition, saying that he didn't want to face Ben Stiller from Dodgeball, and he wants a real challenge. And then, Matt Riddle steps out, and Matt states that he better leave the ring, leave NXT, or he's gonna come down that ramp and make him, and tap him out of it. Drew Gulak's excited. He accepts and says, "Why don't you take those flip-flops off and make my day?" So Matt and Drew Eastwood face off with the two exchange, the two exchange grapples and submission holds in the beginning, with Drew reversing an armbar and nearly getting a hold in of his own. The two tangled on the mat for a while before Drew kept Riddle grounded. Two reverse and countered each other throughout this match, with Matt using heavy strikes and sentons, but his momentum getting cut short by a big kick from Drew Gulak, who drop kicks him once more, dragging him back to the center of the ring and getting him into a chokehold. Riddle struggles to break out, eventually breaking free, only to get knocked down twice by Drew Gulak, who gets him into a brutal double armbar and puts his knee to his back, in a position I can only say is more like, back. Anyway, Drew continues to work Matt Riddle, but Riddle inevitably gets to his feet, lands a few strikes, hits a cradle suplex, gets Gulak into a sleeper hold. Gulak breaks away, but is suplexed again by Matt. Drew then reverses, gets Riddle into an armbar. Matt breaks free, and the two exchange a few more strikes before Riddle deadlifts Drew, powerbomb, knee strike, and Drew kicks out at 2. Immediately after that, Matt comes in, starts elbowing his neck, and then gets him into the Bromission hold, and Drew Gulak taps out to the Bromission hold. The two shake hands soon after that match. I'll be honest, this was like main event material level. You rarely ever get excited by a submission match like this, because submissions can be rather boring depending on who's in the ring, but these two, it was submission perfection, and technical excellence, I believe is how I described it on Twitter. You'd be hard pressed to find, a few modern matches that have this level of submission proficiency. It was a terrific match, and I'd very much recommend you guys see that for yourself if you haven't yet. But then we get to the main event, and it's Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler and friends, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, if you are unawares. Bianca and Shayna start off with Shayna working the left arm, which pairs with the abuse she got a takeover from Shayna. Belair returns the favor, however, attempts to go for a move off the middle turnbuckle, to which she just comedically walks off, tags in Jessamine Duke. Bianca walks over, tags Kairi. After knocking down Jessamine Duke, picks up Kairi Sane, giving her a bunch of height, press, and allowing Kairi to get some air to drop an elbow down on Duke. Jessamine, after struggle, charges Kairi Sane into the corner. Marina Shafir tags in. Kairi hits her with a few strikes, and then Kairi and Io double team Marina, striking and working her for a bit. Marina manages to get Kairi to the corner, and after Io goes back to the corner, Marina takes a number of kicks and strikes before a distraction by Shayna Baszler gives her a moment to get Kairi Sane, essentially. After getting the upper hand, Shafir gets Kairi back into her corner, or back into the MMA corner. Tags in Baszler, and the trio begin to exchange tags to work Kairi Sane. Shayna goads Bianca for a bit, encouraging her to interfere to get disqualified. Bianca ducks back under though. She's not biting on that. And continues to work, and Shayna continues to work Kairi. After breaking away from a recently tagged in Jessamine Duke, Kairi tags in Shirai, who proceeds to whoop all three of them, hitting Shayna with a Tiger Fade kick and a springboard drop kick. She then tags Kairi Sane again, who delivers an elbow drop, but the pin is broken by Jessamine Duke. Kairi gets to the corner, Bianca tags herself in, hits the KOD, but the pin is broken by both Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke this time. Io lures them outside the ring, grabs the top rope to send them both over the top rope. Kairi Sane gets up on the top turnbuckle and then drops down on the two of them, taking them out of the match. Io gets tagged in and takes down Shayna with a moonsault, pinning Baszler for the win. Bianca looked upset, however, after the match that it wasn't her who won it. So yeah, that was NXT. And overall, this was a very, very fun episode of NXT. The Jackson Riker match was forgettable, to say the very least. But from work, Drew Gulak doing great. I am also going to give NXT an A- as well. The only thing that brought it down just a smidge was that Jackson Riker match. The main event was great. Drew Gulak versus Matt Riddle was fantastic. But along with that, there's a poll up here. You can grade NXT. Let me know what you think, or better yet, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think. Hit the like button. Hit dislike if you don't like it. Let me know why. Hit subscribe if you want to see more reviews. But yeah, this has been Real Honesty without John Ritland. I am not John Ritland. I am the Derbinator. And you have a great night.